In this video, we will continue to talk about materials in FLUIDRAY, and we're gonna use textures inside the materials to make them look more realistic. So we are switching from simple materials with simple colors or simple values, and we're gonna go into the more realistic PBR materials with the use of textures. Now, first of all, we saw that we have libraries in FLUIDRAY that we can use and are really helpful, but also together with the materials in the library, we can also access the FLUIDRAY folder there. And by going into the standard library, we can access the not only the materials but also the textures. So if you go into this directory right here, this is where the assets of FLUIDRAY are stored, and also where you can store your own assets for your user libraries. So you have user libraries, you have standard libraries, and other folders here. But if we go directly in the standard library, we can access, well, user library is the assets that we created and are gonna store there, and the standard is the FLUIDRAY default library. So we can select here the materials folder, and you can see we have a folder for each category of materials. So when we need to create our customized materials, we can use these textures here. So if I go, for example, in the bricks folder, we will find different types of walls, different types of brick walls, and you can see here that there are different types of textures. Now, if you don't know what textures are, if you are a beginner, don't worry, because I'm going to explain everything. But also for those of you who already know, this is useful to see where they are and how you can use them. So you can see you have four main types of textures here. They look pretty much the same. So the first one, the first column there, you have the diffuse or base texture or base color. You can call it in many ways. Usually it's called diffuse texture, and this is what is gonna represent the most superficial effect of the material, so the aspect, the color, essentially. And you can see it's the only colored image in this other uh, in this folder here. All the others are black and white or purple. So this next one here, black and white texture, is height map. It's also called bump map. Sometimes it's also called displacement, but we don't have a displacement effect in FLUIDRAY. Displacement effect is a more advanced effect, and these are all effects to represent an extrusion of the material, so like a superficial relief of the material. So the white part is going to be the more extruded part, the black part is going to be the less extruded. And you also have the normal, which does pretty much the same job. So it represents a relief on the surface. So the surface is not going to be flat anymore. It's going to have parts that are going to be more extruded and parts that are going to be less extruded. And you can definitely see here the bricks being like extruded from the surface. Now in the bump or height, the black represent the flat part, the white represent the extruded part, and the grays are something in between these two values. So instead of having just a single value as we saw in the previous video, like 0 or 1, now black represents 0 and white represent 1, and so you have a variety based on the pixels. So if you have a white pixels, that's going to be 100% or 1 or white, and it's going to be extruded. Black is not going to be extruded. So you're not going to have a uniform effect on the material. You're going to have the effect guided by the texture and the pixels that are in the textures, and mainly the black and white and the gray value on the texture. So the roughness here, same thing. You don't have a uniform roughness, but the whiter, the parts that are more bright are gonna have more roughness effect. The parts that are gonna be darker are gonna be less rough, so they're gonna be more glossy. So you can see here, this is gonna be like a pretty rough surface right here. Darker is gonna be the roughness, and also the more reflections we will have, basically. And you can also use the specular. Sometimes you will find the specular by searching on the web or in the packages of textures. You just need to invert to make it as a roughness. So roughness is the inverse of specular. So you're always gonna have like 3 or 4 different types of textures, and I think these are really the most basic texture that you have to use if you want to create a realistic material. If you want to create a PBR, so physically based render materials with textures, you need at least one diffuse, one normal or bump or height, and one roughness or specular or glossiness. So you need at least 3. So in some software you will use roughness, in other software you will use specular, in all the software you will use the diffuse or base, and also in all the software you will find the normal or the bump or the displacement. So one way or the other you should create your material. Now in this course we are focusing on FLUIDRAY, but similar mechanism you will find it also in other software like V-Ray or Arnold for 3ds Max, or well any other tool out there like Unity, Unreal Engine. They all use the same textures. This is the beauty of it. So you can learn it one time, you can apply it everywhere. Now if you right click, you can go into the details. You can see the size of a texture. Now this is 2K size, 2048 times 2048. So this is a, I think, high quality. You can also have 4K texture or 1K texture, or you can have less, like 512 times 512. Now this depends on how near you are to your surface that you want to render. Now the more you are near, the more you want to have a higher resolution, higher quality for your texture. Otherwise you're gonna see the pixel. So also the other way, if you have things that are too small or too far, don't waste like render time by applying big textures. Now all these textures here, these are concrete texture. You can see that are tileable. These are conceived to be repeated many times, and unless you have a tile, actually you don't want to see that repetition. So the more you see the repetition, the worse is the texture, unless again you want to use a tile. And so you need to avoid that repetition effect. To do that, you can do it by selecting the correct textures, and also make sure that they don't have seams or cuts between one repetition and the other. So all these textures that we see here, these are all conceived to be repeated many times to cover large areas. So with a small image we can cover large areas. That's the basic concept of a texture based on a pattern that can be repeated over and over again. So sometimes we can map the textures on the material and on the object by changing the size or the tiling. Usually the size is the inverse of the tiling. So the more tiling I have, the more tiles I have, the less size. So let's just make an example here to make this more easier for you. So you can see there we have that panel. It's gonna be like a metal panel, and we can definitely see the repetition there. Now when you see the repetition, that means that the texture is not the best texture out there, or perhaps it's too small, or perhaps you need to hide it a little bit with shadows and lights and objects that you can place in front of that. So here I will probably change the size. That's the first thing you can do there. And there you go. So now I have increased the size 4 times, which means that I have decreased the tiling, the repetition, 4 times. So again, sometimes in some software you find tiling, sometimes you find size. Size is the opposite of tiling. So if you go there, you can adjust it on your object. This is mapping. So this is simple mapping. Actually, we're gonna also make some example on more complex mapping. Now, before we proceed, we can get back here into Google and do some search. So if you need to search for, if you need to find some basic texture, some diffuse texture, you can type texture diffuse, and you can see here we have like packages again of different textures, and that's the best thing that you can find when you find everything